Hi, it's Maggie from Golden Lights Within, and I'm back with another video. Today we will be talking about how to optimize evening light. So basically different things that I do to optimize that light, and before that I'll go over again just the benefits of getting that evening light and sunset lights, and then again we'll just go right into ways to optimize so that you can take those tips and hopefully just start to implement them in your life and see the benefits. Because again, the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because it's free, it's easy to figure out ways to implement into your life, and it helps with all aspects of your health. So that is why I want to spread this message as much as possible. It's helped me a lot. And just the fact that you don't have to spend all this money to lead a healthy life, you have the sunlight, and reading those cues is what's really going to help you. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, so in the morning light video, which you can definitely reference, I discussed UVA light, so ultraviolet A light, and the benefits of that light. It's very healing. So that comes after the sunrise, and then it comes again before sunset. So you get 2 windows to get that UVA light each day, which is amazing because it is so healing. And you can use an app like my CIRCADIAN app that I've talked about in other videos, and that allows you to see when that UVA window is coming on. So again, when it comes to evening light, you're gonna have that UVB during the day, and then will transition to UVA, and then the sun will set. So that's kind of the flow of how that works. And then again, in the morning, you have the sunrise, then the UVA, then the UVB. So there's just a pattern there. And again, the benefits of UVA light are very wide, but what I'll go over kind of some main ones. So reducing inflammation, improving mitochondrial health, and promoting cellular health, and then stimulating that serotonin and dopamine, so helping with your mood and focus, and triggering the release of nitric oxide, which helps lower blood pressure. So lots of different benefits. That's not even going over all of them, but just overall very good for your body and mind. And so getting that UVA lights at night as well is great. So benefits of the sunset. So obviously, it makes sense, right? When we're talking about cues, the sunrise is a cue, so also the sunset is a cue to your body of like, hey, this day is ending. And it's not anything we have to overcomplicate, right? It's just letting your body know where it's at in the day so it knows what to do. All the body clocks know how to synchronize and what they should do next, so everything's staying in line and you're maintaining and optimizing your health. So it's really as simple as letting your body, know where what time it is during the day. So if you get out at sunset, it's giving your body that final sun cue of the day that it's time to wind down. And so, something else with the sunset is it, does signal that to your brain, but also it just helps shift you into more of a parasympathetic, a rest and digest and relax mode. So, I think we all have the experience of watching a sunset, and it's just the beautiful orange and red colors, and it just puts us at ease and helps us relax and wind down. And that's not by accident, right? Mother Nature made it that way so that it is a sign for us to really step into that and relax. And, we've just become more disconnected from that. We don't watch the sunset. We are busy, we're looking at our phone, we're racing around. And so we've started to miss that cue. But that sunset cue really is meant to help shift your body into that rest, relax, repair mode that is so essential to optimal health and getting a good night of sleep, which is very imperative to optimal health. So those are some of the benefits of watching the sunset. But again, just like I discussed in the other videos, just think about it as, hey, this is another cue that I need to give my body I let it know when I was waking up, where I was at, got outside during the day, also gave it cues, and then at night, that sun sets that final marker, before going to sleep. So the ways that I optimize this. So what I try to do, because I want to get the UVA light that is right before the sunset as well as the sunset. So what I do is I try to think about getting out like 30 minutes if I can. Obviously, if I could be outside for the whole UVA window, amazing. If you have time that day, go for it. But if you're just like, oh, I have 15 minutes before or 30 minutes before, it can be a good way to think about, taking your dog on a walk, or I love like an evening walk after dinner before sunset, so you're getting that UVA and then sunset. Or, maybe you're gonna take your book outside and with a tea and just relax and wind down that way. So that can be a way to get both aspects of the light. And I just like to do it so it's like all in one, right? So I'm getting the UVA, then I know I'm getting the sunset right after, and it's during an activity like, reading or going on a walk, or, honestly, just if you want to just sit there and just be present, that's probably even better. Just meditate, relax, do some deep breathing, reflect on the day, that sort of thing. So again, I like to think about just building in that 30 minutes before sunset so I can make sure I get both. And that's just, a way I've done it to help optimize all of that. So that is the first tip. So again, just getting out 30 minutes before sunset and obviously sticking around for sunset. So my next tip is the mindset. So avoid thinking about it as this like thing that you have to do, like, oh, like I have to like build this into my schedule and this is so frustrating, when really it's an honor and to get to see another sunset, and a blessing and something to be so grateful for that you had another day, and a time when you can really, use to reflect on things, to slow down, to take some deep breaths, and, just be grateful that you had another day. And I think that that's a really important thing, that I've adopted when looking at this, is not just, I think sometimes with health, it's like, oh, like I have to build in this exercise and this and that, and this is just another thing. And it shouldn't be a stressful thing, right? Make it into something sacred. Like this is this special time that you have with yourself or with others, however you want to use that time. You get to obviously tailor it to your life and what season of life you're in, and just use it as that time to really slow down and again reflect on the day and just be present and use that as a resting time. So I think just that mindset is so important really for all circadian health, but I wanted to make sure to include it with sunset because I think that that's a really important time to ground and wind down for the day. And so shifting that mindset with the body cue for the sunset and evening light. So the third tip I have to optimize is to, in order to optimize what you just did, so like getting out and getting that light and getting that signal through your eye to your brain to let you know that, hey, sun setting, time to wind down, time to sleep, would be to make sure you're not getting that isolated artificial blue light after sunset. So I have a whole video about the blue light and how to block it that you can definitely check out, but some things to think about. So if you have to look at your phone or any technology, use blue light blockers, use candles when you can, and obviously be safe. Think about how much lighting you need for something, so be safe obviously, but if you can use candles, that's a great way to do it. Sometimes if I need to take a shower still after sunset, I will light enough candles I can see what I'm doing, but again, obviously use your common sense with that. And again, kind of tying into the last point, utilize that sunset time as like a signal of, hey, it's time for my body to rest and relax. And So in that light, I'm going to front load things and get things done to the best of my ability and really think about my lifestyle and ways to optimize things so that I'm getting things done earlier in the day and I'm not up on my laptop or on my phone before bed. And I know that that can be kind of a hot take, like, you know, if you're like, hey, I'm busy with things. Again, it's all priorities and making decisions, and you have to do what you have to do within your season of life. But knowing, you know, it is best for your body to be able to have that time to rest and relax. And, you know, if you can even find a way to have 10 minutes of that in your evening, it's really important for your body to be able to wind down and have that time. So again, I think just having that mindset about it, and what I also like to do with my phone, because I found myself getting back on my phone, even though I had the red filter on my phone, I would watch, you know, the sunset and then be like on my phone, you know, checking an email or something. So what I started doing is putting it on airplane mode, you know, having my alarm set, everything ready to go, and having it like plugged in the other room. And after sunset, just reading or heading to bed, kind of winding down, so I wasn't tempted with that. So that can be something that you can play around with. And of course, everyone's unique. Everyone has unique lifestyle. These are just ways I've used to optimize the evening light and making sure that I have better hygiene with those practices, because I know how important they are. But you can take these things and tailor them to your life, or, you know, if something's just not a fit yet, that's totally fine. But just here to offer ways that you can think about your lifestyle and how to just set yourself up for success, and really, you know, knowing that that evening light, that sunset light, that can be a really sacred time for you. And just mentally too, having that time to release things from the day and let go and head towards a relaxed state is so important, just in addition to the light cue that it's giving your body. So I hope that was very helpful. Again, just as a recap, when we think about the ways to optimize, getting outside 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes of that UVA light if you can, and then being out for the sunset, and then changing your mindset around these types of habits and looking at it as like a sacred, restful time that you get to enjoy the sunsets, and then being mindful of what type of light you are exposing yourself to after sunset. So really, you know, protecting that time after sunset and not being on, you know, technology and getting blasted with artificial blue light and that sort of thing. So those are the main tips in a nutshell, and I really appreciate you watching Golden Lights Within, and I will see you in the next one.